Good day, people of YouTubes, and welcome to the non-action-packed 6-year anniversary of Shadowhawk 2012, who surely should have retired 3 years ago. Surely should have done. But apparently not. We're carrying going, and this is going to be the 4th Dwarf Fortress project on the channel. And this one's going to be probably my last one, but I've said that about the last one in fairness, so who knows. I might end up doing a Dwarf Fortress 5 at some stage. But this time we're going with a theme. The theme is, we are going to build a galleon, full size, and the plan is roughly to house at least 60 dwarves in it. Then we're going to check it for water tightness, and then not sure what to do. Because I've done a few test runs, and starting by the coast has problems, because if you dig a big hole next to somewhere with waves, that gets filled up with water faster than you can pump it out, and in fact pumping it out is a bit of a problem. Yeah, so we tried. So that I've chucked that idea. The rivers aren't really wide enough, but we'll see. So here's what I've roughly come up with. I need to build a wall to hold the tides. That's job 1. I then need to dig the hole to hold the ship in. Job 2. Then need to build the ship. Massive job 3. I then need to flood the area the ship is in. Job 4. And then, once that is all done, I need to somehow free the ship, because of course I've got that wall and all the, the block of terrain in the middle between the sea and that. All the while dodging aquifers, because I'm not going to be able to set a ship up in an aquifer by default. Also, while still allowing me to continue construction of it, because obviously if you're building up from the bottom, which is the only way I think I can do this, then clearly I've got to have the ability for dwarves to get on top of the thing they're actually building so that they can continue building it. This is a bit of a manic project, and I did do some planning on graph paper and various other bits and pieces to try and work out how to do this, and I have a rough idea for things, but no idea how well this is actually going to work. So we're going to start by creating a world with advanced parameters. What we are after, in an ideal world to make this work, is I need a cold area. It's got to be cold because I need the sea to freeze over, but not be frozen. Because if it's frozen in summer, then obviously we can't disembark. But if it's frozen in winter, I can then demolish the wall of demolish the earthen wall, allow the water to pour in, and that'll allow me to flood the area out. That's the only way I've worked out of doing it. So huzzah! We'll do it that way. Free the ship. We'll then have a ship submerged in water, even though it won't be officially for reasons that I'll get into probably at some stage. So yeah, we need a cold region, but not freezing. We also need to have some woodland, but unfortunately that's going to be very unlikely to happen because of stuff and things, and the fact that we don't tend to have a lot of trees near the coast usually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a small island. Which I'll get a medium island just to increase the number of things. Advanced parameters, no seeds. We're going to use additional embark points just because I want to be building up some equipment that people have requested. I don't want to get too mad though. I'm only going to set it to 2,500. So we've got an extra 1,000 points to basically buy wood. The end here, we're going to go for a... Well, what do I consider good? If I wanted to wait here forever, I'd go 2012. Yeah, I'm going to wait here forever. I'm going to make the world 2,012 years old. That's all fine. I don't need to worry about any of that. I don't need to worry about any of this. I'm not interested in volcanoes. Not interested in that. We're going to have a North Pole, because I think I said I was fleeing to the south. We want complete ocean edges on 4 points. 3 mountains is fine. 1 volcano. Mineral scarcity we're going to keep as is, because we shouldn't really be worrying too much about minerals. Titan numbers and everything else seems fine. And the worst thing we can do is start in an evil biome as well, because that's going to cause me massive issues. Level civilization required. Okay, that all sounds good to me. Escape, and we are done. Let's create the world. So here we go, the large archipelago region. And we'll see what we can come up with. We're probably going to have to start fairly northish looking at things. And now I've got 2012 years to basically go on with this. This is probably going to take a while, and I'm probably going to cut out this bit of the video. But we have our 7 crew members, which I will go through in a moment. We'll be trying to match... Oh god, that's going slow. I've made the region a bit too large. So 2012 years might be pushing it a little. Might be pushing it a little. Okay, I'm going to come back in about an hour. Bear with. Oh, actually, that's not the thing very well. I have to change my usual stop and start record button for Dwarf Fortress because I use that key all the time while playing Dwarf Fortress. So, yeah, I'll be back once we get to the year 2000. So, until then. A quick pro tip. Do not go above 2000 on a medium map. Had this been smaller, it would have been done by now. But, yeah. That's the year rate at about 1 every 3 seconds. Roughly, maybe. Well, anyway, I'll be back when I'm back. Because it's only going to get slower from here. Still, we're up to nearly 1 million actually registered events and quite a lot of historical people alive. And we have plenty of places we can set up, looking mostly towards the south here. May even see if we can get one of the rivers. The downside is I'm not sure this is going to be cold enough really for our purposes, so we may have to be towards the north. Which, of course, is the south, because I'm going to have to invert this now to make it work for my theming. But huzzah. Well, I'm going to play Pikmin 3 for a bit. I'll be back. And thus, and I'm just going to take a quick screenshot here, we are done. And we are now at the point where we can actually start. So, we're going to accept the world. Hope it's not going to completely crash and fail as it's... Thank you. There we go. Right, offloading 16,719 units, which are currently alive, and then we shall begin. And what we shall begin with is the setting up and the embarking, which is probably going to be the rest of the video. I told you this would be an exciting non-action video, and it's taken an hour to get this far. But huzzah. It'll be worth it. It gives us plenty of chances to get something good. And if you're going to make a world... I mean, this is a new build. It's actually version 18, I think. 4024 18. I'll have a look at that and confirm that on the description somewhere. If we're going to do all that, we might as well at least do it properly. And I only have to make one world. If I've made it big enough, I can just put everything in it. Though, of course, if I was planning on that, I should really have added more volcanoes. But I do like building on top of volcanoes these days. It's my latest little trick, building fortresses on top of volcanoes for ultimate defense. Unfortunately, it does have its own problems, but yeah. Meanwhile, we wait for it to try and try. It's so very hard to work its way through saving all of this. But it'll be worth it. Maybe. Who knows? Or it's crashed. I mean, the history is 2 million text file. Okay. Don't show this again. I'm sure I tell it that every single time it comes up, but don't tell me that again. We can wait. There we go. Saving the agreements, cleaning the game objects. This will take a few while, and we are ready to start playing at last. Oop. There we go. Start playing. Dwarf Fortress. And once we get all the coin information, civilized populations, friend the game, and we move ourselves straight onto... I should have made a smaller game world. That's what I'm basically thinking at this stage. Either that, or I'm going to have to go through the settings and see if I've got the settings on correct for Dwarf Fortress. It might not be using as much as it should be. Well, it's stuff I can work out in the meantime before I start the first video of actual Dwarf Fortressing. This is more sort of setup and embarking. And making sure that I have everything to task. So... this is where the freezing cold ice belt begins. And we want to be really cold, but we don't want to be... cold is fine. Saltwater marsh. Savannah, very deep soil. See, something like this is actually not a bad sort of start. Even that, and I'm just looking at this little bit here. It's a temperate ocean, aquifer obviously, shallow and deep metals. Untamed wilds is the only downside of this, but I can work. I've been in the Untamed Wilds before. Would definitely give us something in. Okay. Let's continue exploring on. We've got plenty of options here. We have the river which leads into the... Is that going to be ice? That's going to be ice. It's freezing. No sense in building a boat on somewhere that's frozen. This potentially could work. It's heavily forested, thick wilderness, so it's not... Shallow clay, very deep soil, no metals to speak of is the only real downside of this. Actually, wait a minute. Okay, the metals are basically under the ocean floor. It's not ideal, but it's workable. And it should have at least one heavily forested area at the top, looking at that, just how it's working out. We are in an aquifer, which may cause us a little bit of concern. We go and dig out the area for the boat. But I'm thinking that's not a bad starting position, so I'm going to go at the Seas of Diversion. Saltwater, aquifer, embark. Okay, we're going to prepare for the journey carefully. And we have now got to go through each of the dwarfs and work out which one is actually... Yeah, there we go. View. Work out which one is actually best for things. So, you are quick to heal, quick to tire, weak and flimsy. Great affinity for language, good intuition, poor empathy. Now, the quick to tire and weak and flimsy means we really shouldn't have one of our warriors at this stage. So this actually looks okay. Good intuition, affinity for language. That's probably going to be Captain Shadowhawk. I mean, melee, I'm not going to go too much into this, but rarely sick, quick to tire, poor analytical abilities. That's the one that we do not want on a broker or a manager. Whereas the music only starts when we're doing this. National inclination of language, probability to manage or social relationships. See, that's a good warrior, this one. Kib currently is a good warrior. We have Sensible Disease. Don't really want you being tough, quick to tire. It's just a few odd things there you have to be kind of aware of. It doesn't make a massive amount of difference, but it can be helpful. So we're going to begin with Captain Shadowhawk Thunderbane. Captain Shadowhawk Thunderbane. The 6th. Otherwise known as a peasant. Enter and quit there. So, hold on. Okay, so it's actually massively compressed what I've done because of spacing. That's fine, we come over that. So I am first level miner, first level carpenter, first level woodcutter. We also have our appraising jobs. Because I'm going to be the broker of the thing. We're going to have one judge of intent and one record keeper. So the way I wanted to do this, actually, appraising judge of intent does help. The rest of it I can sort of train in the meantime. And the only other skill I took was architect, because none of the people I had as options took architecture. Where is architecture? I missed it, haven't I? Building design, that's why. Looking at the wrong bit. So I am the building designer and generally odd job captain, as it turns out. So next up, let's have a quick look at you. So, rarely sick, quick to tire, poor analytical abilities, great deal of patience, great feel for surrounding space. That's actually not too bad for a miner, so we're actually going to have this guy in the proper spacing as first mate, Marishin Flamebeard. And first mate, Marishin Flamebeard, or Flimblad, as he currently is going there, is a double point miner, double point mechanic. He's going to set up traps and things if we need to. And his other skills were weaponsmithing, armorsmithing, and blacksmithing, which I believe comes under metalsmithing in this version of it. So huzzah. And he's done. So, third character. What are you? You're the carpenter, butcher, surgeon. Slow to tire, sensible disease and slow to heal. Makes sense that you'd probably be more inclined to actually, you know, tearing other people apart. Great analytical abilities, a lot of willpower, good intuition. Difficulty with words and little patience. That actually kind of fits. Though difficulty with words kind of means that the book you're holding is, you know, often mistranslated. Or that's the words you care about, so huzzah. So, you are butcher. Butcher 9. So at least we can get some animals and get plenty of food sorted out that way. It's always nice to have meat. Carpenter, surgeon, wound dresser. Now, I had to take 2 doctors because I had so many people wanting to be doctors here. So I'm going to split the tasks up a little. You are the dedicated surgeon. And you also dress wounds. Oh, have I missed the point here? No, hold on. Where did I go? 7987. Might have overplayed one of this. Yeah, I've got 1 point too high. Alright, so wound dressing is your lesser ability. Now you... probability to manage or understand social relationships, quick to heal, bad intuition. Probably don't want a bad intuition doctor with the diagnosing skills. So what I'm actually going to have is here. Also, I need to customize you because I didn't do that. Overmind. Brian Blackheart. And I've been given an invite to play Rocket League. I don't think I even own it or have it installed, but huzzah. Thank you, whoever that was. Right. So we have the Overmind, or the Mind. It might sort itself out once we actually get into the game, but it's only got a limited space for the moment. So, next peasant is, I think we've... looking at this. We don't want a good intuition doctor, so we're going to skip to number 5 on the list here. Customize the nickname. You are... the Lookout. Echo. Death Echo. And you are the Mason at this point, really. So 2 points in Mason. We're going to have 1 point in Stonecraft. So we can make pots. Pots are going to be important. Cheese making. Because, you know, we're not going to get millions of those come the approach of everybody else. Herbalist and grower. I think you also got Fisher Dwarf. Yeah, I've got Fisher Dwarf for you as well. But you're the actual fishing Fisher Dwarf. I think we've got another person doing fish cleaning at some stage. Right, moving on to you. Amazing memory. Deep well of patience. Good sense of empathy. Durable. Okay, actually, that's more likely to be a warrior. Sensible disease. Good focus. Shortage of patience. I think that'll work for our doctor. So, view. Yep, customize. Nickname. Doctor. Dr. Dieth Agan. Killed M. All. And that seems like a good name for our doctor. And he actually does have diagnosing skills. So let's just go back up top and sort everything out a bit later. So he's our diagnostician and also chief medical dwarf, by virtue of having that skill. He will also have suturer, surgeon, wound dresser. Actually, no, not wound dresser, bone doctor. So there we go. He doesn't have wound dressing, which I think was the one thing that Actually, no. No. That's fine. We have a dedicated surgeon. He's more sort of the front of desk style things there. What else have we got for him? We got... Oh, Mr. Skill. Okay, no, he can have surgeon. That's right. I was just looking at what else he had, but actually that makes sense to him. His other skills are bone and woodcraft. Low priority skills, but, you know, at least we've got that area covered and we can make bolts if we need to. So, let me just move on and see what the other two have got. Because the other two mostly consist of our fighting troops. So, you have tough, quick to tire. You are durable, quick to heal, and strong. So you're going to be our main fighter at this point, and that will be... Just working out which one's the better one here. Actually, yeah, this is you. This is our Long John Glod. It's official title, by the way. Zanquest Tiamal Dal Rathan. Okay, so we can't really have anything else in there, so Dwarf. That's as far as I'm going to put it. That's as long as the name gets. But you are Long John Glod. It's an official title. You are the ship's cook. Vital job. Second most important job on the ship. After Ratcatcher. So we have 2 points in fighting. We have 2 points in striking. We have 1 point in Swords Dwarf. And 1 point in armor use. Which I think gives you an all. Yes, it does. And that just leaves for last guy, who is, of course, Noobuncle. I couldn't have an LP without Noobuncle. And this is our Grog Master. Pirate Bunkle. And his skill, of course, is Grog. So let's go and find him the Grog skill. There we go. So raise that to 9. He also is a reasonable fighter, though, but he has fish cleaning as his second job, and that's basically so that we can... where is fish cleaning? There you go. Basically so I can get some initial fishing stuff sorted out and get some initial food that way. We'll need something. And if we're by the ocean anyway, that seems like a sensible thing to do. Another Swords Dwarf. He's got 2 points of dodging. And 1 point of armor use. And that puts us to 1,000 points remaining as we now move to items. So we have 2 copper picks. We need 1... Actually, I only have 1 guy who can actually go and do things. So let's go and pick up 1 training axe and 2 training swords. Just so I've got them more than anything else. In fact, I might actually go up to a full complement of 7 training swords just to be on the safe side. Ladder, wheelbarrow is fine. We'll keep all the barrels and things. We're going to need those. Again, where possible, always have 11 of things rather than going less than that. It gives you an extra bag / barrel. Okay, that'll do there. So 2 copper picks, the iron anvil, training axe that can chop things down. We will need some animals, but we'll sort that out second. What we need really badly are wood. So what wood should we build the ship out of? And I really should have looked at something beforehand, but I think we're going to go and build it out of course, whatever we can get. But I'm going to start with... I think since we've got everything else in chestnut, we're going to go for chestnut. So let's go and start by getting enough logs to at least start. We will probably need a lot more. I'm probably going to need a lot more than what I'm currently going to put on here because I'm making a huge flipping ship. Okay. 300 is not enough, but it's a starting point. This allows us to also have 4 cats. And we can also have some hens and chicks, just to 4 hens, 1 rooster. That'll allow us to get the minimum egg thing started up there. I can go and get rid of some crutches, some splints. We'll get rid of those just for the points at the moment. They're not worth it. 2 buckets. We'll keep the thread cloth bags because they'll be helpful. What we want to do here is we want a nest box. Oh, we also want 1 Coke. Just on the off chance we do actually find something flammable that we can take. And in fact, I should look at that before we start here. Do we have any limatite or bitmus coal available to put on here? Does not look like it. No, we got nothing that burns, which is a shame. So we're going to have to do things the slow way around, or charcoal them when we get around to it. Rather not, but hey, we'll take what we can get. Ignoring that then, we want to go and take some milk. And the reason we're taking milk is because we have a cheesemaker. Might as well have something going for him. So 31 there. And that leaves me with 36 points. What to go with? I might go with some more rum. I was about to say, we do have rum. Some more rum to start with seems sensible to me. Okay, that's 31. Everything's at 21, 21, 21. 16 points, though. If nothing else, I might take some sand. I mean, we're going to be on an ocean anyway, so it's not as if we couldn't get some. But I think I'm just going to take some white sand, a bag of that for 11 points of, just so I can go and do something. And with 5 remaining points, that's going to buy me... Not some leather. Don't need leather. Lie's not really helpful. I'll just get some more milk. So, the long starting process has begun. From here, we shall attempt, and likely fail, to build a boat. We're going to save this as attempt to escape, because this is the escape build. And we embark. I'll have a quick look at where we are. We have arrived. Okay. So as you can see, we're sort of in a river mouth, and as we can see, it is cold enough to freeze at this stage, so we do have that going for us. Obviously, it's salt water, so it's not likely to be freezing at this point. Obsidian pebbles. It's an obsidian wall? Interesting. Can't use driftwood for our purposes, though. Plenty of silt. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically start off by building a wall, say, across here. Could reference things on the map, actually, because now they have mouse features on this. So build a wall that goes across here. Build a massive hole in the back here. And see where we can go from that. Is there anything actually around that's particularly helpful? Sorry, get out of that. So while I'm in this mode, I can actually move around a bit faster. Have a quick scan of things. It is also spring, so it might freeze in winter, though for some reason I don't think it does. We are really good for trees, though. So that is something going in our favour here. We're not going to run out of wood. What type of trees are these, anyway? Sand pear. Oh, now I feel like I should... I did not all sand pear, but honestly, feels like I should probably have waited and just gone with that. Couple of lakes, and they're quite high. They are going to be high up. We will, of course, be making a small little fortress area, but we need to put it somewhere where we're not going to get drowned out. So I'll probably put an entrance to the fortress about here. Probably actually up a couple of levels, just do it on that side, just for safety. Get some things sorted out. And then we shall see. So, Shadowhawk 2012, we are about to build a boat. Until next time.